Peace, peace. This is your host, Selah Shalom. And the topic of discussion today is called The Living Dead. Now, there are many people walking around as the living dead. Many people don't understand how important it is to be conscious of what you're eating and drinking. Now, what you eat and drink can determine the quality of your life. Now, many are walking around as the living dead. Now, what do I mean when I say that? When you eat things that are dead, death begins to inhabit your body. And the slow process of death begins within while alive. It starts when you consume foods that are dead. Chicken, pigs, cows, fish. When you eat these dead animals, what happens is that your digestive system becomes a waste site for meat to rot. When we observe the digestive system, we see the mouth, which can lead to bad breath due to consuming of meat and acidic drinks. We got the esophagus. Meat can also stick to the lining of the esophagus and rot. Then we got the stomach, where ulcers are formed due to high concentration of acid from acidic drinks and meats. Then from there you got the duodenum, which secretes fluid to help aid in digestion. That is very important. The duodenum is a very important organ because its duty is to secrete fluid to help aid in digestion. Now, when somebody suffers from constipation, it's due to the lack of secretion from the duodenum because its duty is to aid in digestion. So if you're not getting the fluid to digest, what's going to happen? Constipation. See that? Now, meat dehydrates the fluid from the duodenum along with acidic drinks, creating constipation due to the lack of fluid coming from the duodenum. The most important part of the digestive system is the small intestines. The small intestines is a 30-foot long and is a narrow tube. So consider the meat you eat that have to digest and go down a 30-foot narrow tube before even getting to the large intestines. In order to have your digestive system work properly, your digestive system has to maintain a lubrication along the walls of the digestive tract in order to digest food properly. Now, when we eat meat, what happens is that meat sticks to the walls of the small intestines, and there it begins to rot and becomes a nesting bed for parasites to grow in. And these parasites or worms feed back on the very substance that produced them, being the meat that you ate that never fully digested, sticking on the walls of your intestines. And keep in mind, the meat can sit in your intestines for months and years, rotting away, producing a multiplicity of parasites. And these are your intestinal worms. And this is why I classify this as the living dead, because you have death in you from the meat you consume and parasites being created off of that death living in you, creating the living dead. Now, when we observe the symbolism of the walking dead as zombies, we see the walking dead eating flesh, just like your typical flesh eater. We see the walking dead with worms coming out of their stomach. This reflects the very dietary lifestyle of the living dead. This reflects intestinal worms. See that? So these symbolism of the living dead are real. People are unaware that the meat that they're consuming is creating worms in their intestines, slowly eating away at you from the inside. They're dying from within. And being that acidic foods, meats, and drinks dehydrate your cells are slowly dying on a cellular level as well. And this is how people are walking around as the living dead, not even knowing that they have worms in their body. So stop eating death. Stop eating the meats. Eat things that are alive. Your fruits, vegetables, your grains. Start to make the change slowly but surely. Substitute meat for vegetarian meat, meatless meat. It's not the healthiest, but it's better than eating that dead flesh. It's way better than eating that dead flesh. And the medicinal herbal tea will give life to those dry bones in the valley. See, we speaking on human anatomy. The dehydration of the cell is the dehydration of the body as whole. One singular cell works for the rest. So once you understand the operation of that, you'll start getting the key of life on how to sustain yourself. And with that, I'd like to say peace and blessings, shalom, and catch you on the next documentary.